Antarctica, the largest desert on Earth, with a size of 5.5 million square miles, there's bound to be mysteries hidden within its crevices, from strange geologic structures resembling pyramids to traces of evidence revealing lost ancient civilizations in the polar desert. Are these simple misunderstandings or mysteries yet to be confirmed? In this video, we will be doing an in-depth analysis of all the three major theories surrounding Antarctica, some scientific and others more speculative. This video is not meant to persuade either which way, but rather give you information and theory that you can then research and then challenge its validity. What is underneath all the ice sheets? Though most of the surface has been mapped and photographed thanks to satellite imaging, most of the mystery surrounds what the ice sheets encapsulate. Only a few decades ago, scientists discovered lakes, rivers, and other bodies of water that many scholars were unaware of. One of these lakes was discovered by the Soviet Union in the 1950s during the Cold War, named Lake Vostok. The Arctic base was measured to have the lowest natural temperature on Earth, at negative 89.2 Celsius.
Lake Vostok is a unique environment on Earth. It's a big lake of liquid water about the size of Lake Ontario, under more than 2 miles of ice in the heart of the Antarctic. It's a lake that has been separated from the atmosphere and life on Earth for millions of years, going its own way, and we want to know what's down there. NASA has several interests in this lake. One is it may be an analog to the conditions on a place like Jupiter's moon Europa, which has a thick icy crust and liquid water underneath, where we might someday like to send probes. It also represents a very interesting research for studying life on Earth, because this water has been going its own way for millions of years. We don't know what's in there that's alive, and we don't know how it may have evolved, and it's going to be really fascinating exploration to get down there.
Though scientists believed that they would not find any notable organisms due to the extreme conditions, they came across abnormal specimens, a bacteria named W123-10, having only a DNA similarity of 86% to other living things on Earth. It baffled researchers due to it successfully passing all tests of contamination, meaning that it was indeed isolated for millions of years. Many more bacteria samples were found in the polar desert, but they were not alone. Living creatures were found residing beneath the ice sheets, surprising many scientists. In December of 2009, they sent a camera down a borehole, stretching all the way down to the seafloor, close to 2,500 feet below ground, making them rethink Antarctic marine life.
What the video shows is the view of the bottom of a borehole through about a 200-meter thick ice shelf close to McMurdo Station. And so while we were looking at the video, examining the hole, lo and behold, this marine organism came swimming by. I called it a shrimp-like thingy because I don't know anything about marine biology, but it was just fascinating to see this amphipod is what its proper name is, swimming around and being very curious, looking at the cable, and we were all huddled around the monitor, just fascinated with what we were seeing at the bottom of our hole. Well, when I showed this to a marine biologist, she was quite surprised because we are a long way from the open ocean, about 20 miles, and this is a higher life form. This is pretty far up the food chain, and if it's swimming around, that means that there's quite a lot of life at this location. And that was a surprise to us because it was a surprise to them. One of the funny things about this was that we were staring at it, and it was probably, we had lots of questions in our mind, and it probably had lots of questions in its mind. It probably was just swimming along, and something new and different showed up in front of it, and so it was extremely curious. It was swimming around and sitting on the cable and looking at it from every angle, going up and down, and I'm sure this was a very interesting day in the life of that amphipod, as it was for us. Yeah, this was not the only indication of life there. We lowered this camera almost all the way to the seafloor. We didn't have quite enough cable to go the full 800 meters. And when we pulled the cable up, we also saw what looked like tentacles from a jellyfish attached to the cable. So there is a lot of life down there. And I think we don't really know the first thing about it. It's an entirely new frontier for us to explore.
This lost world has yet to be fully discovered, and many believe that strange creatures live within these depths. Lost civilization theory. But where did these creatures evolve from? Did they manage to adapt over the years, or are they new? Due to research on fossilized plant roots, scientists concluded that the polar desert was once a temperate rainforest, a lush, warm environment full of life. Due to these findings, some believe that this is where an ancient civilization once ruled, believing that it was only covered in ice sheets 12,000 years ago, based on the crustal displacement theory. Some support this claim by referencing Antarctica's pyramid-like geologic structures. This structure is a four-sided pyramid model, resembling the pyramids in Egypt, maybe the father of all the great civilizations. But geologists dispute this idea and believe that it is a result of natural geologic formation. Another strange geologic composition that was found resembled a man-made settlement. The rings surrounding the center look purposefully designed as fortifications. But what for? The cold, predators, or enemies? Scientists credit the harsh cold winds that formed the structure, but others disagree. Nobody has actually explored the area by foot and was only analyzed via satellite images. It is hypothesized that either the Khoisan people of southern Africa, Australian Aboriginals, or the indigenous people residing on the tip of South America are the suspected natives of Antarctica. The people of South America seem to have the most possibility of being the natives there due to their already existing experience with cold weather, using animal fur to shield them from the cold. The Polynesians are also suspected of reaching Antarctica with the legend of a sailor named Ute Rangira, sorry if I butchered that, encountering icebergs in the South Ocean, though it is said that he did not land on it. If this were found as a true evidence of past civilizations, without a shadow of a doubt, human history would have to be reassessed. Nazi group in Antarctica. New Swabia was a piece of Antarctica that was claimed by Nazi Germany in 1939, named after their expedition ship. The purpose of the expedition was to find and set up welding stations for the Third Reich to increase the production of fat. Whale oil was vital to the Germans, but some believe that this was a cover-up for their true intentions, believing that they were there building military bases and bunkers. Operation Highjump is referenced as the evidence of this being true. Operation Highjump was a U.S. Navy operation that involved training personnel in the extreme cold, frigid environments of Antarctica for combat. Advocates of this idea believe that they were in fact involved in an assault against German Nazi settlements in Antarctica, explaining the strange deaths that occurred during the Operation Highjump training. A supposed Nazi map outlining underground passages through Antarctica can be found online, crediting the KGB for finding it, though it is not verified. The map details how German U-boats should navigate the underground water passages of Antarctica. Another source used to validate this theory are the lost diaries of Richard E. Breed, an expeditioner who was funded by the Rockefeller family and the U.S. government to explore Antarctica. His story details an opening in Antarctica that led to a hollow earth, full of lush jungles and strange species of animals. This may have played into the verified 1974 hole the size of Oregon that appeared in Antarctica unexplainably. It opened again in 2017, and scientists have yet to give a reason on why this occurs. Could this have been around during Richard E. Breed's expedition to the South Pole? Who knows? My personal thoughts. While conducting my research, I tried to gather as much somewhat reliable information as possible, though I did not want to cross a certain threshold of reliability that would make my claims sound outright insane. But I want to include everything that I found no matter what, so here's a list of interesting mentions I came across. The Nazis acquired alien technology while in Antarctica, which helped them against the United States Highjump operation. Now this one seems a little bit out there. I do want to make a separate video on the topic of aliens, but that's for a different time. And the United States and Nazi Germany both knew the entrance of the hollow earth was in the South Pole. Now these were a little far-fetched for me, but I decided to include them at the end of the video for an honorable mention.